So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. You know, a lot of times you have guys who say things just to cater to women and step and fetch and kowtow to women in order to get views and followers and likes. But other times you have men who simply have been raised to be beta male simp manginas. And one such example is what we're going to cover in this video. And somebody sent me a video on IG where this guy was talking to fellow simp, guy we talk about all the time, who is always perpetuating the energy that his wife is his God. But even he doesn't sound as simptastic as this guy. I want you men to understand, especially you young men, never listen to a man say something so egregious as,
"You can't be the most alpha version of yourself before you meet a woman."
Now I know that sounds crazy, but you're going to really fly your wig when you have opportunity to hear why this guy believes that is. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff.
Just make sure, if you have a baby, or no, not if you have a baby, marry a woman before you have a baby. Like, guys talk about all the time, like, I want kids. You don't hear a conversation with guys like, yo, I want a wife. You don't hear that ever. Like, every time I hang out with my fellas, they're talking about, oh yeah,
that's an
I'm gonna have this
interesting
many
combo.
kids, some of these kids. They never talk about having a wife. And what I noticed too, like going through this whole process, is you're preparing men to be the best version of themselves before they meet that woman. But what I have noticed also as well, you would never be the best version of yourself until you meet that woman, which I'm recognizing as well too. So
now when you hear guys talk like this, you have to ask yourself one question. If we know the divorce rate is above 50%, and we know that a little bit over 80% of those divorces are initiated by wives, why then would these men keep pushing young men to marry a woman if they want children? Because here's the thing, in a perfect world, in the world that God created, where a woman doesn't have the power to divorce her man, where she is married until the man doesn't want her, then it would be wonderful to marry a woman if you want to have children. But here's the dumb, idiotic aspect of that. If 50% of the marriages are going to end in divorce, then you're going to be without the children anyway. You're going to be the absent parent anyway. You're going to be the outside dad anyway. You are going to not be in the household with your children unless you go and fight for custody. And under those circumstances, why go through all of that when you can simply put yourself in a situation where you could go to the same court that you're going to have to go to if you're married and divorced, and demand split custody or full custody? See, I want you men to understand that the majority of the times when these guys are talking, they are talking strictly from an emotional perspective. So when you hear a man say a man can't be the most alpha version of himself before he meets a woman, because it takes a woman in your life for you to become that version of yourself, man, this man is so full of simping. This man is so full of lame energy, man. This man is so full of feminine energy that he don't even sound masculine saying that. There is no way you can sound masculine saying you don't know who you are and you can't be who you are supposed to become until you have a woman in your life. Man, these dudes are setting young men up for failure out here. Just because you got your one bra is your God and you worship her and you feel like you couldn't have got that just means you're a lazy dude. Some of you dudes do need a woman to help you get to the point, because some of you fools ain't self-motivated. Basically, what he's telling you, man, is don't worry about being self-motivated. You need a woman to motivate you. You ain't got no get up and go, no drive to accomplish that until you got a woman to live for. He basically saying that he didn't know how to grind, that he didn't want to grind. He didn't want to come up until he had his woman to live for, to die for, to grind for, to shine for. And that's the absolute opposite of what an alpha king should be thinking. You put yourself in the best position to win. Why? Because you as a man want to be there. And you as a man have the connection with God that'll put you there. You as a man have to do that grind. You as a man have to miss out on that rest. You as a man have to do without that social life. You don't need a woman in your life to do that. Now, if a woman comes into your life, it's supposed to get better. It's supposed to get better because the woman has to bring some value. But that does not mean you have to marry a woman in order to get that value. There are women who you meet that you're not supposed to be intimate with. There are women who are just supposed to be a part of your journey. There are women who are supposed to buy into the process of your progress, not because they want to, not because they love you, not because they want you, but simply because that's what God put them in your life to be, a tool that you can use to help continue to build the life that you're building. These simps believe that every time a woman do something good in their life, they're supposed to marry the broad. These simps believe that just because a woman has shown that she's willing to do something and help you do something that benefits her too, that you should marry the broad. I'm not saying you shouldn't put a woman in a position in your life where she deserves it, but for this fool to say that you cannot become who you're supposed to be as a man without a woman in your life, like you're a failure without a woman. You're going to always fall short without a broad is what he's saying. Man, I want y'all to tell me, man, what kind of man is this? What kind of man is this? He don't even come off like he talking from a masculine perspective. He repeating what his mama told him. He repeating what his old lady keep reiterating to him. That boy didn't have no father in his life, and if he did, man, then his dad must have been stepping and fetching the cowtown to his mom, man. You cannot have men in public saying things like this when you have these young, impressionable men out here who are already in the household with a single mother and don't have any parental guidance from a father in their life. And you're going to tell them this when they come looking for information from you? Dog, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And Donnell, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for even having this fool on, man. Even you didn't look like you felt comfortable with him saying that. You know that ain't right, man. You know it ain't right to tell these young boys, man, that's out here, man, already struggling to become the man they supposed to be, man, already behind the 8 ball, to tell them, man, don't worry about that. You can't do it without a woman. So what you're telling them is instead of focusing on their goals first, you got them focusing on the woman first because they think they can't reach you without the woman anyway. Man, that's a travesty. And I'm going to be honest with you. Dudes like this don't need to have no microphone in front of them with a camera on in front of them, man. He shouldn't be talking. He should be like Paul say women's supposed to be in the church. Don't say nothing. Go home and ask your husband. He need to go home and ask his husband. Because I'm going to be honest with you. In his situation, if this is what he believe, I can guarantee you he ain't the husband in his household. Because he just elevated this woman to the level of God. The only thing you need in this world to accomplish your goals, man, is your grind and your God. And if your woman is your God, fine. But we ain't finna be around here telling these young boys that they need to make their woman their God, and you can't accomplish that without your woman. You're gonna fail becoming a man without your woman. And I got somebody else who said this, man, and I'm gonna feed that to y'all a little bit later on this week. And this was gonna blow y'all wig back. And it might make some of y'all boy want to say something, but see, when I talk, I speak nothing but facts. So you can get in your feelings, but you can't get in your brain and refute what I'm saying. Because you know good and well that the thing to tell a young boy is not that you're gonna fail at being a man until you get a woman. That's foolishness, man. And both of these dudes ought to be ashamed of themselves, man. If this guy said this and recorded it, man, you shouldn't even put this one up, homie. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
Alpha sub, betas down, it's the motto. Simps